Here's the question. If we start this way, can we sustain it?
Yeah.
And not just sustain it, but can we build off of this and go higher?
Right.
It's like when you already start at the mountain, where you going to go from there?
I used to be at the ATM at midnight when I knew my check was coming through to get some cash out before the bill collectors came and took my money.
I'm so grateful
Yeah.
that in the beginning we had an agreement, right?
Yeah.
There was a partnership. That was like, yo, this is where we are, but this is where we want to be.
I remember like, I'm not trying to think about that right now. I'm trying to live for today.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm trying to get this outfit for this club tonight. I really didn't have somebody like kind of in my ear, like, hey girl, you know, well, if you keep doing this, you ain't going to be able to get that.
What's up, family? This is Jay.
And this is Tay.
And you're now tuned in to another episode of the Unscripted Journey podcast. Well, family, we got another banger for you.
Here it is.
Here it is. What we're going to talk about?
Today, we're going to talk about champagne taste and tap water budget.
You know, when you came up with the title, I said, man, usually I hear beer budget, but tap water is like...
tap water budget is the low of the low. But I've been there, so I know. The tap water budget.
Tap water budget.
Not the bottled water.
Not the bottled water. Can't even afford the bottled water.
No, not the bottled water.
You can't even afford the filter.
Not the filter. Not the refrigerator with the filter. I'm talking about the tap water.
No, I got you.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. When you say champagne taste, what does that mean? When you say just that phrase.
Right. So when we talk about champagne taste, I'm just kind of talking about like an elevated taste, an expensive taste.
Right,
I'm not even going to say elevated.
Right.
An expensive taste, right? Champagne's a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
Depending on the type that you get.
Yeah.
You know, it can be a lot more expensive than like your beer. Yeah, than like your beer or your or even like your liquor, right? Your little Belvedere or whatever you trying to get. It's champagne's a little bit more elevated than that. So.
Champagne is an elevated thing.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm talking about, like a more expensive palate.
I got you.
Or a budget or taste.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. So when you say that, so when you think of that, right?
Yeah.
When you get into it, what's one of the first things that you think about, you know, to help people when it comes to the champagne taste with the tap water budget?
So, you know, these days, like I've been thinking about this, and these days a lot that comes to mind is like social media.
Yeah.
Like illusions versus reality.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, we're married, so we didn't really, I mean, we had social media, like just a little bit, just that little taste. What was it called?
Facebook.
No, not
MySpace.
Facebook. MySpace. Just like a little taste when we were kind of younger. And I mean, as we got a little older, Facebook had came into play. But like, even back then, Facebook wasn't what it is now.
No,
like,
it was just to know people.
Yeah, it was just connect.
To connect and network. Yeah, that was all it was. Now it's it's a illusion.
It is like a show, like who can do it better, right? So I look at that, and a lot of times it's like, man, you know, people be on here looking like one thing and living like a total different thing, right?
Facts.
And I think that when I think about that, it's kind of like, okay, what are you trying to build as an individual or as a couple?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because it costs money to look a certain way.
Yeah.
So are you spending all your money to look a certain way? Are you spending all your money to be a certain way? Like, it just makes me think like that, because it's kind of like, okay, if I'm out here trying to flash on social media and I'm buying all these expensive jewelries and purses and shoes, and I'm living in like a shack, it's like...
Yeah.
What's that about?
And you know what it is it's like this old term.
Yeah.
Keeping up with the Joneses, and we still don't know who the Joneses are.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like we do all of this for people, and here, you know, go ahead and clutch your pearls when I say this, for people who really don't care.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's
like
true.
we do all of this, put on this thing, and in all honesty, if we get down to the realness of it, it has more to do with you than it has to do with other people.
Right.
Right? Because there's something in you that you feel inadequate.
Yeah.
Right? There's something in you that you feel like is unfulfilled.
Right.
So you feel like you have to betray this, right?
Yeah.
And so I look at that a lot of times. It's just like, man, like we doing all this for what?
Right. And I feel like sometimes they other people may be interested in the way that they look.
Yeah.
But like if they looked at them and then they knew like that they weren't living exactly how they look, then it is like you were in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay. Like you will be talked about till you can't be talked about no more. And it just kind of made me think of like people who are dating now. Like we talk to a lot of young people like, man, it's so hard out here. And me and you have gotten into plenty of discussions of like, you know, social media comes out with like women expect this and, you know, and men are like, I can't believe somebody want me to take them to so-and-so or whatever. And it just is like, you know, being out here dating, if you're portraying one thing and then we get to a place where we actually are meeting a person and going out and getting to know each other and it's a whole different thing. Yeah. It's kind of like, what's that all about?
Yeah. And I think
this is like false advertisement.
And that's the thing. Yeah. Right. One thing I can say is from the very beginning, like there was no fake and no pretense when it came to me, when it came to us, right? Yeah. You knew I had a Nissan Altima.
Facts.
You knew I was at the time in the military, I was staying in the dorms, right? I ain't moved off base yet. Yeah. So like you knew like I ain't had that much, right? Like, you know, but you knew I had a check, right? You knew
I knew the check was coming on the first of 15. Yeah.
But you know, we didn't have anything. And I think that for us, we were less concerned with the look. Right. Right. And we were more concerned with sustaining. Right. And I think a lot of times people are more concerned about the look, right? Yeah. Instead of sustenance, right?
Right.
Substance.
Consistency.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing that I can say I appreciate about us. Yeah. Is that it was always about, no, we ain't faking it till we make it. Yeah. We gonna make it.
Right. And I think that that's big because I think that sometimes a lot of people may be like, even in today's age, may be kind of ashamed that they may be on a tap water budget. But baby, I've been there. Like, it's so funny because our oldest was asking me like something. She asked me something on the lines of like, hey, did you know your life would get better, or do you think your life is better? And I was like, girl, I used to be at the ATM at midnight when I knew my check was coming through to get some cash out before the bill collectors came and took my money. Like, I know my life is better. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I didn't, in those moments, I wasn't trying to fake it till I made it. Yeah. Like, all my friends knew at midnight she was at the ATM. Right. So like it was no joke. It was no faking it. I just stayed with the plan and I just built and then we built and then we got to come to a better place, right? So I think that it's important to know that it's okay to be on a tap water budget, like as long as you trying to build.
Man, that is realness. Like I remember, you know, when I was in the military, right? Mm-hmm. You know, before I met you, while I met you before we got married, you know, we used to hang out with the guys, and they'd be like, "Man, let's get a table." And you know what? Like I was grateful that they'd be like, "Hey man, like just give us what you can," right? Like I was like the little brother to everybody.
You put something in we got you. Don't worry about it. Nah,
like,
that's
because
funny.
It was like, you know, we going and you know, they got the champagne bottles. And you know, the bottles in the club is way expensive than they really are in the liquor store. And you like, dog, I ain't got it.
I know what it is to be a man, right? Because I'm just like, you know, we had tables all the time, but it was just going with the guys.
Right,
like,
right.
Yeah, we going to the club. They got a table. We got a table.
It's
you
the
know?
pressure, right?
Yeah, and it's a lot of pressure.
And that was the thing. Like, and I think a lot of times with couples, especially with couples, it's like you have to make that agreement. Like, what are we gonna do? Like, are we gonna go for the illusion? Yeah. Or are we gonna go for the reality? Like, you remember when the 300s came out, the Chrysler 300s came out. Yeah. People got them because they called them the broke man's Rolls Royce.
I did not know that.
Yeah, you didn't know that? That was like, you know, because
man, it's hard out here.
Like people got them. And I remember like I saw something where somebody would fix it up. They fixed theirs up to look like a Rolls Royce, right?
Did they put the little thing?
Yeah. Like, but again, the illusion, right? Yeah. So thinking about that, right? Right. The illusion versus the reality when it comes to relationship. What will be the other thing that challenges the champagne taste with the tap water budget?
I would think just kind of like, where are you guys trying to go?
Yeah.
Like really come into a understanding, because sometimes there may be somebody who overspends. Sometimes there may be somebody who doesn't spend at all. Yeah. Like just really having a good conversation on like, where do we see ourselves? Yeah. What do we see in our future? Yeah. Where do we want to be? Like as far as like legacy, financial, of your financial wealth, like just your wealth in general, like what do you see? Like even if we're living in like an apartment, do you see us buying a house? Right. Because everything takes steps, right? Nothing just happens. So it's not like I could say, oh yeah, in 5 years I want to buy a house, and 5 years, the whole second, third, fourth, fifth year, I'm buying Louis and Gucci. Yeah. I'm buying another car. I'm doing all this other stuff, because when 5 years gets there, you ain't gonna be able to afford no house. So it's just kind of like, I think just really having that conversation of like, where do we see ourselves in the future? Right. What are the things we're trying to obtain? And to be very honest, like if you have somebody who's like an overspender, I think I would be like challenging them, like, how do you think we're gonna get there?
Right.
You know what I mean? That, like for real.
No, I think that's very good, because like I look at like, and it's so crazy because we're still young. Yeah. Right? We're at 40, in our 40s, right? Yeah. And so think about that. But we've been married for like almost 20 years. Right. And so when and I said that to get to this point, like when we talk to people like who are younger, like the young adults, and who in the who they're coming from their teens to their 20s, right? Yeah. And it's like their outlook, it's like, whoo, I'm so glad I'm not in a dating game, because it's like everybody wants that immediate thing, right? Everybody wants this. Like you talked about the restaurants, like, no, don't take me to Cheesecake Factory. Like I'm all like, Cheesecake
I didn't bring it up. You did.
I did. Like Cheesecake Factory is not a bad restaurant.
Blanket statement, okay?
Like, and it's like, it's this thing, these high expectations, right? And like you just said, like, what is the long-term thing, right? Right. What are we trying to do? Because here's the question: if we start this way, can we sustain it? Yeah. And not just sustain it, but can we build off of this and go higher? Right. It's like when you already start at the mountain, where are you gonna go from there? Right. You know what I mean? So I think that, and I said that because I'm so grateful that in the beginning we had an agreement, right? Yeah. There was a partnership. That was like, yo, this is where we are, but this is where we want to be, right? Right. Like these are the goals. Like when you met me, it was like, yo, I want to be a chief in the Air Force. Like I want to go all the way. Like I want to retire this thing. I'll do the 30. Like it's easy money, right? Yeah. You were the same. You were like, well, I ain't, I don't know about the chief, but just give me 20, right? Right. But we had a goal, right? And there was sometimes, we had to save and penny pinch, right, to get there. But it was like, it was the agreement, right? Yeah. And to today's generation, you really see the pressure, right? That you see guys are being applied a lot of pressure from society. Yeah. Right. To have this already. Right. To have this. And in all honesty, most men that we don't talk about this a lot, but most men, the reason like or holds them back from getting married is finances. Okay. Right. I can see that. That's one of the things is like, yo, like
they want to be financially stable.
I want to be financially stable. I got to have it now, and so one thing I'm grateful for is like, you were like, yo, as long as we do this together, I'll do it in a cardboard box with you. As long as we got a plan to get out of this box, I'll do it with you. Yeah. And that was the thing. I don't know if you remember saying that, but that was the thing that really was like, yo, I got me one. Yeah. Like she willing to be in the mud with me, be like, yo, I'll be in there with you. Yeah. But we gonna get out as long as we agree that this ain't where we want to be. And I think that is the agreement that a lot of relationships, you have to have that in the very beginning. Yeah. Right? When you're in the dating stage, it's like, what are the goals? Like, what are you looking to do? And I think that a lot of times why people misunderstand and they get in relationships and it's just like they're just butting heads because there's no conversation at the very beginning of like what we trying to do. Right. And I think it's important that we just kind of say that, because I do remember being young like that. And I remember like, I'm not trying to think about that right now. I'm trying to live for today. Yeah, okay. Like I'm trying to get this outfit for this club tonight. Right. I'm trying to get to this club tonight. I'm trying to, do all these things right now. These are the things that I see right now in my preview. But I really didn't have somebody like kind of
in my ear, like, hey girl, well, if you keep doing this, you ain't gonna be able to get that. Because I feel like everybody has goals, right? Everybody has those things, but like actually applying how you're going to get something when you're not there yet is a different story. And sometimes I think it just takes a mature conversation or some support or just somebody dropping a little gem dropped. Just saying like, hey, like, it's all good right now, but like later on, it's going to take some work. So like, just start building now, like just start building towards the things that you want now. And especially if you're in a relationship, having that conversation up front, like, hey, what are you trying to do? And you guys don't have to be necessarily both like, I know I want to be this in 5 years or whatever. But even if one person is very clear on like, hey, I want to do this. And the other person is like, okay, cool. And then they come up with other dreams later. As long as you guys have got a conversation and a plan moving forward, I think it's important.
Yeah, it's that communication piece, right? And it's that shared goal, shared vision, right? And I think like that is a component that I would say relationships are missing, is forgetting that we're building, right? And that's one thing I can say, that we always had the mentality like we are building, right? Yeah. What are we building? Right. And so I think that's a relationship. Stop looking at a relationship as just, oh, I got my person.
Yeah, right? I know, right?
I got my man, I got my girl, she fine. But it's like, no, what are we building, right? Yeah. It's one thing, and it's so funny because one of the things that I ask couples and premarital is, what do you believe your assignment is with God, like from God, concerning y'all together? Because y'all didn't come together just to come together. Right. Like he purposed it for a reason. And I think when we look at it that way, when it comes to relationship, we have an assignment. Yeah. And there's a shared assignment. Then it's like, okay, sometimes in the assignment, it's going to be downs. Yeah. It's going to be ups, true. Right? And so I think that's one of the biggest things.
Yeah, I do too. I agree. So I would say that like I've definitely had a tap water budget. Yeah. I think that we both have been there, so totally understand what it's like, but just to keep just to keep being consistent.
No, yeah, most definitely.
Like whatever little goals, one day at a time. Yeah. Just one day at a time. And even if you fall off, and say, well, I'm just gonna splurge and do this real quick, that's back. Okay too. That's right. So that's okay too.
That's so good.
Because you don't just work to just be working. Like you can reward yourself sometimes too. But at the end of the day, just remember what your goal is. Remember what y'all's goal is, and just try to keep focused on that.
No, most definitely.
Yeah. And I also say like people get help. Like ask people. Yeah. Like if you don't know, ask people, get some mentorship, because I feel like a lot of people, especially us, I feel like financial mentorship is not like a big thing, or like financial wellness maybe not taught to us as much as we would like it to have been, as much as I would have liked it to have been. And just different types of financial wellness, right? Like investments and savings and just all those things. So even if you don't know how to go about it, I would say to seek out some help to figure out how to go about it.
And you just open up some, I think that's why communication is very key, because a lot of people see it so totally different, right? Like for you, when you when we got together, your mentality was because you struggled, right? Yeah. You struggled and so you were like, yo, like I got to this place, I'm not going back to this place. Right. This is like X, Y, and Z. Me, like, I had a different, when I got into the military, this is my first time I'm on my own, right? So I'm like, I'm splurging a little bit, right?
Yeah, you were splurging.
I'm living, right. And so I had to learn, right? Like, hey, dog, it ain't just about the shoes today. Right. Like you got food, you gotta buy, you got lights, you gotta keep on. And so, that is something that has to be understood, right? So I would also say patience.
Patience, yeah. Yeah, I think so too. Cause you remember that conversation we had. I was kind of like, okay, let's just keep our accounts separate. Because I'm just thinking, let me see how long he thinks he's going to be able to maintain like this. You know, and I remember you being like, oh, no, we can figure it out. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because I'm just like, I can't maintain like this. And I don't want to.
No, that's facts.
Right? Yeah, so like, let's see how long you think you can maintain. Yeah. So, and I think it comes a lot too from like our backgrounds. Like you said, before I met you, I was like on the struggle bus and I was like, baby, is no looking back. Okay.
Yeah, no, I got you.
And then my mom was like a big spender. Yeah. So that was another thing. And it was like, she used to max out credit cards. Yeah. Mom, if you watching this, sorry, you used to max out credit card when I was young. And so we would just be shopping and the credit card be maxed out. And so I think just all those things, knowing all those things as I was growing up, it was just some things that I just was like, I ain't never maxing out no credit card and I ain't going back to being super down and out, especially since I had a kid.
No, that's facts. That's facts. Yeah. So I would say, you know, speaking of that, talking about, you know, the illusion versus reality, you know, talking about, you know, the pressures, right? The communications. Another thing I would say, a gem that I would drop for people in relationships who are getting into relationships or preparing to get into one or in a marriage already. Yeah. You have to have discipline of a desire. Yeah. Right? Like you have to have a discipline that sometimes, you know what? I'm not going to buy these J's. Right? Yeah. You know what? That purse, I got it. But there's a bigger goal. We trying to clear some debt.
Yeah. So do you take the purse back? We take the purse back.
Yeah, we take the purse back. You know, and I'll be honest with you, like, and for those who are listening and those who are watching, what we're saying, I'm going to be honest and transparent. I had to learn it, you know, faster. Yeah. Right. And it was some bumps I had to, bumps I had to take. Right. Because I didn't have the discipline. Right. I had the desire. And I tell you all the time, like even now, but we're at a different place. When I buy shoes, you look at me, I said, I'm healing trauma. Right. I'm healing my childhood trauma, but I couldn't. But when I think about it is like because there's been some times when some shoes have dropped. Yeah. Right. And recently, and I'm like, I could get it, but I was like, nah, but there's something else we're trying to do, right? Yeah. And there's a discipline, even though they're 200, like we cool, right? Now listen, whoever listening, watching, I ain't saying like we got it like that, but we a whole lot better, right?
Yeah, yeah, better than where we were,
right? So there's sometimes what you've had to discipline yourself, and I think that you have to understand this, that you don't need the champagne habits, right? You need consistent habits, right? You need the habits that are consistent. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I would say this too, because like you were overspender and I was like a never spender. Right. And so like just having that balance, right? Because it is like, you don't work just to work. Like you want to enjoy yourself too. Yeah. You want to have goals and be able to balance being able to reach those goals and still enjoy the things that you can afford to enjoy. Yeah. So I know that I had to kind of let that go, and I had to be like, you know what? I think I am going to get this for myself after I didn't walk past it for the 12th time. You know what I mean?
I think I am. Stalked it for 12 months.
I have stalked it. Okay. No, everybody who knows me know I will stalk something. Okay. And wait for a price to drop.
Listen, we'll go to 4 different department stores to find that same dress. And listen, if she can save $1, she had literally spent 3 hours finding it. $1 less, I'd be like, and watch this, she still won't buy it. I'd be like, dog, like.
So I think I've gotten better with that. Just kind of like finding a balance with that. And, but I think that all took like communication between us. Yeah. Like even you being like, all right, babe, like, just get it for yourself. You can do it. Like we can do it. Right. Yeah. And so I think that again, just comes back to communication. Yeah. It comes back to the goals that you guys set and keeping each other accountable.
No. Yeah. And that's why sometimes I would just buy it for you. Yeah. Right. I see it. I know you like it. I'll just come back and get it later, because it's like, yo, like, you gotta enjoy some of it. Like you can't be, like I think of it like this: I can't take it away. I can't take it with me when I leave. True, right? Like, so I'm not saying I'm gonna spend it all up and be broke, but I'm gonna start spending my money. It's so funny. I was talking to my mom, and my mom's retired, dad's retired, and so she was talking to her financial advisor. She was like, "Yo, I'm finna pull out some of this money and spend it like with the economy that's going on. Like, you like, and like, no, don't put it. She's like, nah, I'm about to spend it. Because it's like, you've done all of this, you save, you retire, and like, I got all this money. I don't have this bill. I need to enjoy, right? And I think that is a conversation. What does enjoyment look like, right? How much are we going to enjoy, right? What is, and I think that that's all just communication, and I go back to this, a shared vision, right?
Yeah,
and I cannot harp on that enough, right? Like when you're in a relationship, there has to be a shared vision. Like we talk about all the time, like being evenly yoked, right? And what that means, what does that look like? And I think that a lot of people need to understand that it's about like our thought process, right? How we want to walk, how we want to do things. What are our goals? Like what are we trying to do, right?
Right.
And that is the thing, because when you talk about it, when you talked about what we're exposed to, you were a big saver, right? But I was more of the investment guy, you know, the long term stuff. Like, let me take a couple stacks here, and put this here. Let me have this. Let me get this Roth. Let me have that. So with the long term, when it's time to retire, when you don't want to work no more. All right, cool. I already stacked that. And I think that is the thing. Like a lot of times in relationships, we're not coming in with a shared vision. We're not sharing with a shared goal and a purpose. It's all about the now, right? The look. I got a bad one on my arm. I got a fine one on my arm. Like, we going to the bar, we splurging at Fleming's, at Root Chris, you know what I mean? But it's like, what's left after that,
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think that too, like you said, the shared vision, it needs to be you guys' shared vision. It's our shared vision, not somebody we saw to the right's vision. Right. And just keeping that in mind, because a lot of times, like we said, social media, we may have a shared vision and then we pop on social media like, I kind of like that vision though. I kind of like what that looked like. And so then it's like, okay, now we're off kilter, right? So just being able to keep in mind that it is y'all's shared vision, not anybody else's shared vision. Really sit down and figure out the things that you guys are trying to do, because people are going to be doing all types of stuff, and you don't know what people had to do to get what they got. And you don't know what they got to do to sustain what they got.
Listen,
so
you need to say that one more time.
You don't know what people had to do to get what they got, and you don't know what people had to do to sustain what they got.
That is so true.
So just stay with you guys' shared vision. So y'all have a plan on how to get there, and not worry about how everybody else has gotten to theirs or how they're getting to theirs.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. That's so good. And that leads me to the last point, right? The last gem we want to share is redefining rich. Yeah. Right. We need to redefine. Redefine what that looks like. Right. And you made me think of it because, we didn't have these when we were. And it sounds like we're so old, but we're not. When we were coming up and growing up, like you either had to grind it out and work, right? Or you was a hustler, like, or you was an illegal hustler, like you was a trapping, right? It's like now it's like OnlyFans, you got all these content creators, and it's like everybody is looking and flocking to those things because it's like it seems like it's quick, right? Yeah. But it's like, man, let's redefine what wealth and what rich really looks like, right? Right. And one thing, and that's the thing that I would say, because it's like, what's more valuable? Right? Yeah. The money or your peace. Right. And then just like, even with content creators, that's a job. Like trying to be on there all the time and trying to make sure things are right and trying to make sure you right all the time is a lot of work. So it's just kind of like doing that, and then you got to edit the video. And then you gotta, it's a lot of work. Always be engaging. Like I'm like, my goodness, right? I couldn't imagine. Like I remember like one of our friends like, you need to start doing Get Ready With Me's, and I tried, and I was just like, there's no way I can sustain this. It is no way. Like this was way too much work. I should have did this. This is a week's work. You know what I mean? For a day. So I think, it's just all different types of ways, these days. I just think that at the end of the day, like you said, that shared vision, because you don't want to be trying to get money one way and your couple or your person is looking at you like, we ain't trying to get money that way. I ain't trying to have you get money that way. I don't care what we trying to do. And I think that's why you have to redefine what that looks like, right? Because like I thought about it like
I was just about to ask you, what do you think rich looks like?
And it's funny because when you were sick, right? When you had our kids and you were in the hospital, and I was coming up and seeing you, you know, for days, like, and to see you now healthy, like that's rich, right? Like I got my family, we healthy, you know, we ain't, you know, we're not where we want to be, but you know, we're in a great place. That's rich, right? I can come home and there's peace at my house, right? Like my kids, you know, my kids had everything they need, like our mental health. Like I'm like, we're rich. Like we just moved your mom then last year,
and could afford to do it.
Could afford to do it, right? We had a house big enough for her to come in. She get, you know, a little bit of her own space. Like that's rich to me, right? It's not about, to me, it's not about how much money I have in my pocket, right? It's about, man, when I can lay my head down, right? Like because there are some people who have all of this that we want, right? The money, the cars, it just looks so good, but like they have no peace. They get no sleep. They're coming to empty houses, right? They got these big spaces, but it's like nobody to share with. And so that's why I can say, man, I'm rich.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I got a woman that still love me after 17 years. Still put up with me, man, still rocking with me, you know, good, bad, and indifferent. Like that's rich. Right. You know what I mean? And so I think that that's something that we have to really look at more than just the money, more than just what glitters, right? Because everything that glitters is not gold, right? It's not, everything that glitters is not valuable, right? And I think that that's where we are. Like we think, oh, that looks so good, but it's like you don't know what it looks like behind the scenes, right? So what do you think when you define rich?
I think I would mimic everything you said. Like rich to me is just some peace. It's my family being happy. It's me being happy. It's like you said, being able to go to sleep at night. And I would say also it is me making a way for my kids in the future, right? Like leaving something legacy is rich to me. So leaving something behind for my kids, and my kids leaving something behind for their kids, and it just continuing, right? Like I think that's rich to me. Like being able to have like my kids and their kids start off on a better foot than where they started off or where I started off. That's rich to me, because I feel like, you know, that's just how I would desire it to be. Like just them being just 1 foot ahead than I was, you know, whatever that was. And I just feel like, you know, I feel like that's kind of just like even our culture, right? Like our people before us just fighting so we could just be 1 step ahead. And I just want to kind of continue that on in our family. Like, so that's rich for me. So
I love that. I love that. All right. So wrapping it up, what would be one thing that you would say to our listeners and to those to our viewers? What was that one thing that you would say, hey, take this away with you to wrap up this episode? Right.
So I think I would take what I would say to take away from this episode. The gem that I would drop is just to make sure that you have a vision and a goal ahead of you. If you're a couple, make sure y'all have that shared vision. If you are young, understand that you need to have a goal, because that moment is not going to last forever. So even if you feeling like I just want to have fun now, just be mindful to balance that fun with a goal. Make the goal first, and then balance the fun amongst that. And if you're a little older and you feel like you still aren't where you need to be, hey, put the goal in front of yourself every day. That's and good. Just work day by day to that goal, and eventually you will get there. Like, it'll happen for you.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that. I like that. Well,
what did you say?
Oh, you asking me what I was saying? I'll just mess with you. One thing I would say to take away from this episode, right, is really, I can't harp on this enough, really understanding and redefining what rich looks like. Right. And what I would go further is stop watching somebody else.
Yeah, I agree.
And build your own.
Right.
And build it the way you see it.
Yeah.
I think too many times right now what we're producing is copycats.
Yeah.
Right? It's like so many people are seeing something and we're trying to follow and model that, right? But be bold enough to do it the way you see it, the way God gives it to you.
Yeah, that's good.
And be patient enough for it to come. I think a lot of our problems is we want it right now. That's why we love microwaves. We love fast food. We love it that we're impatient people.
Yeah.
But I want you to know something, that when it comes to God, things take time, right?
Yeah.
But watch this. If you wait on him to do it, right?
Yeah.
For him to reveal it to you and for him to make it your reality, I guarantee you won't have to do a whole bunch of crazy stuff to sustain it.
Yeah.
Right? It will sustain itself because it's a blessing, right? And so that's what sometimes is, we have to understand the difference between a blessing and a burden. And some of us are trying to get some things, calling it a blessing, and in reality, it's really a burden.
Right.
Right. And so that's the thing I would say that to take away, like, build your version, right?
Yeah,
Stop looking at other people's grass and water yours.
Right.
Right. Get that together and focus on that. And the more you focus on that, watch this, the less you'll see what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
And then the less you'll be distracted from what you've been called to do.
Yeah. And you'll be able to see what you've been growing grow.
Come on, man. Come on.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, family, I'm Jay.
And this is Tay.
And you were just tuned in to another episode of The Unscripted Journey.
Cut.